outrage and an outpouring of support for an Ontario family. They were on the receiving end of a hate-filled letter targeting their autistic teen. And the anonymous letter suggests the family should either leave the neighborhood or have the boy euthanized. The community is rallying around the family. The Toronto Sun's Jenny Yoon has more.
One single letter is causing outrage in this quiet little neighborhood in Newcastle. The grandmother of an autistic boy received an anonymous letter last week telling her to move out of the neighborhood because the boy apparently makes too much noise in the backyard. Neighbors say that upwards of 100 people were here Sunday night rallying in front of this house. It's the grandmother's house where the disturbing letter was sent. Some people even came from outside the community because they had heard about the letter and were shocked about it. For one neighbor, she said that it struck an emotional chord with her.
Just disgusting for somebody to think like that and do something like that to the grandparents. I can't.
And just it would make you feel so targeted too, you know, like
Very
anonymously.
targeted. Yes, absolutely.
This is really upsetting me.
It is upsetting because I have my kids and I have my mother watching my kids too. I have my parents, and I'm sure it's hard for the grandparents and for his parents and what they're going through. That's not nice. It's not nice. So I hope they find that person.
I don't think it's a mother. No mother could write that. No one. No, I don't think it's a mother. I really don't even think it's a woman. And if it is a woman, well, she doesn't like kids or doesn't have them, definitely. But there's no way. After having kids, you couldn't.
Durham Regional Police say that they are investigating this letter. However, at this point, there doesn't seem to be any criminality charges applicable to this case, but investigators are consulting the Crown in order to see if there may be. For the Toronto Sun, I'm Jenny Ewan.
Joining me live on the phone from Newcastle, Ontario, is Brenda Milson, Max Begley's grandmother. She received this hate mail. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Tell me a little bit about Max. What kind of a boy is he?
He's a happy child, and the noises he does make are happy noises. I don't know why they bother people. It's just normal noises that autism kids do make.
And have you had any kind of a problem in the neighborhood before? Has anybody come up and knocked on the door and said, hey, could you keep him quiet for a little while?
No, never. Never. The neighbors have all been good.
Now, who do you suspect might have sent this letter then? It's got to be a neighbor.
It's got to be, but nobody I know, because they thought that Max was my child, not grandchild. So they don't know me. I don't know who they are.
So you suspect whoever sent this was a little bit confused as to you being the grandmother and not the mother?
Oh, definitely. I mean, all they had to do was look and see that I couldn't have a child 13. God.
Okay, then, Brenda, how did you react? This arrived in the mail, as I understand it. Is that correct?
Yes, it did.
And then how did you feel when you read this letter?
Well, first I didn't know what I was reading. I thought at first, because it wasn't addressed to me, it didn't have my name on it, it had my address. I thought maybe it was an advertisement, and I almost threw it in the recycle. Then I noticed there was a stamp on it, and usually advertisements go through a machine. So I thought, well, maybe I'll open it then. Well, then I opened it, and it said to the lady that lives at this address. And I thought that odd because I thought they couldn't mail that to everybody. And I started reading it. And then I just realized they're talking about me and Max. And I just couldn't believe what they were saying. And then when I got down to near the end, it was worse. I was shaking and crying. I couldn't get composed for quite a while. And then when I did, I just automatically thought I have to phone the police.
I read this letter. It came across the internet and I read it, and I didn't realize it was from the Oshawa area, but it made me sick to my stomach, and I thought it's got to be a fake. Is there a chance that somebody else is trying to upset you for another reason?
I don't think so. God, I've never done anything to anybody down here, you know. Okay, just a sec.
Now, in terms of the community, have you talked to the police about this?
Pardon?
In terms of the community, have you talked to the police about this?
Oh, yes, definitely. I phoned the police right away. Okay. Yes, a gentleman just come to the door to hand me the Toronto Sun, and it's got Maxwell's picture on the front page. It just kind of made a lump in my stomach.
Yeah, and the headline is, "Who could hate him? He's a lovable boy."
He is so lovable.
As I understand it too, ma'am, a lot of the community has come to support you. Is that a surprise?
No, everybody around here has always been so friendly. When we moved in here, we've been here 6 years. But it was a surprise to see so many people come out Monday night. There was over 100 people here. It was wonderful.
Now, what can we do to help you in your situation? I mean, obviously we're talking about this. We want to bring it to people's attention.
Yes.
Max has his challenges. Obviously, he's got some challenges.
Oh, he does. Yes, he does. You can't be left alone. You know, you just don't trust him when he's alone, but he's very good.
Yeah, and his mother has her challenges, as I understand it, as well. Is that correct?
My daughter has MS, and that's why I do have Max a lot, because it's hard for her. She's in a wheelchair now. She was good for a lot of years, but it is getting worse.
Her MS is getting worse. How about Max himself? Has he been stable for the last few years?
Yes, oh yes, Max has, yeah. He's doing well. He loves school, and he has a wonderful EA. She just loves him, and he loves her. And he's looking forward now to going to school. He keeps asking for the bus, so he knows it's coming.
I read the article that is in the Toronto Sun that you've got delivered in front of you. You haven't had a chance to read it, but it talks about how well and how differently he communicates. He only says a few words, but he gets his meaning across. Is that right?
Yeah, he does. If you'll say, well, will you show me, Max? And he'll show you if he can, if it's in the house. He knows everything. There's so much in those little brains, if they could just get it out.
Yeah, indeed. He sounds like a great young man at this point, and thank you so much for taking care of him and spending your time with us and telling us your story.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, Brenda.
Okay.
And enjoy reading the paper. It's a great article.
I will. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Brenda Milson is the grandmother of Max Begley and recipient of that hate mail. This, though, is the topic of our web poll. An Ontario family received an anonymous letter from a woman telling them to euthanize their autistic 13-year-old boy because his behavior scares her normal children. What's your reaction to this story? Shock, anger, sadness, all the above. Log on to Sun News Network and have your say on that one.